hyperbola,
So first, let's define what is circle. Circle is the set of all points in a plane that is equidistant to a specific point. Before we solve about standard to general form and general form to standard form, we must learn about the standard and general equation of a circle. The standard equation of circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, while the general form is x squared plus y squared plus bx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. Now that you have already learned about the equation of standard and general equation of a circle, let's move on how to solve for standard form to general form. Now we have given the equation of x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 64. How do we get this answer? X is equal to x squared is equal to x squared plus 4. How do we get this for x? 2 times x is equal to 2x times 2 is equal to 4x plus 4 is equal to 2 squared is equal to 4, while the y squared is equal to y squared plus 3 times y is equal to 3y times 2 is equal to 6y plus 3 squared is equal to 9 is equal to 64. Now, x squared plus 4x plus y squared is equal to 64 plus 4 and 9. 4 and 9 minus 64 is equal to 0. Now, let's transform this into a general form. X squared plus y squared plus 4x is equal to 6y minus 51 is equal to 0. Now, after we discuss about the standard to general form, we will now discuss the general to standard form. Now, we have given the equation of x squared plus y squared minus 14x plus 2y is equal to negative 14. Now, we will now regroup the given equation. That is equal to x squared minus 14x plus y squared plus 2y is equal to 14. Now, where do we get the 49? We will divide the 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7. Square root of 2 is equal to 49. 7 square root of 2 is equal to 49. Well, the 1 is 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. Square root of 2 is equal to 1. Now, we will subtract the 49. The 14 to 49 is equal to 35 plus 1 is equal to negative 36. That's where we get the standard form of x minus 7 square root of 2 plus y plus 1 squared is equal to 36. Now, the center of the standard form is 7 and 1, while the radius is 4. While why 4? Because the square root of 36 is 4.
Hi, I am Allyza C. Labrador, and I am going to discuss the second kind of conic section, which is parabola. Parabola is a set of points that lie equidistant from a specific point called focus and a specific line called directrix. The standard form of a parabola, if it's vertical, it's x minus h quantity squared equals 4p quantity y minus k. And if it's horizontal, the standard form is y minus k quantity squared equals 4p quantity x minus h. To differentiate parabola from circle, the only condition is in the general form, only A or B exist. So now I am going to show you how to find the properties and standard form of a parabola. So number 1, the given is x squared plus 4x minus 8y plus 20 equals 0. So the first step is we're going to group it by variable. So it became x squared plus 4x plus blank equals 8y minus 20. The next step is we're going to complete the squares. To complete the squares, you have to divide it into 2, then square. So 4 divided by 2 equals 2, then square equals 4. Then we're going to apply the addition property of equality. So we also have to add 4 in this side. After completing the square, we're going to factor out this side and then simplify this side. So it became x plus 2 quantity squared equals 8y minus 16. And then we're going to factor out 2 this one. So it's going to be x plus 2 quantity squared equals 8 quantity y minus 2. So this is a standard form of a parabola. Next, we're going to find the properties of this equation. In this given equation, we can already know that the axis is vertical because of the term x squared. Now, we are going to solve for the general equation. Given the vertex and the focus, we can determine the value of P, which is the distance of these 2 points. So, the focus is just 2 units from the vertex. So, the P is equals to 2. So now we're going to distribute this side. So it will be y squared minus 0y plus 0 equals 8x. We are going to cancel it because it's 0. So this one is the general equation.
Now we'll be discussing the third kind of our conic section, which is ellipse. So ellipse is a set of all points in a coordinate plane such that the sum of the distance from the 2 fixed points are constant. Just like the other 2 conic sections, we also have our own standard equation for ellipse, which is x minus h quantity squared over a squared plus y minus k quantity squared over b squared equals to 1. So here's an example of how to get the standard equation of an ellipse. So here's a general equation which will turn into a standard equation of an ellipse. So first thing we did is create the similar terms with the x coordinate and then the y coordinate, which is 25x squared minus 50x plus, we leave it blank, plus 4y squared plus 8y plus blank is equals to positive 71c. We move the negative 71 to the right side. The next thing we do is factor out the coefficient of the x squared as well as the y squared, which is 25 parentheses x squared minus 2x plus 1. What we did here basically is we divided the negative 50x by 25, which is equals to negative 2x plus 1, since we divide 2 by 2 and square it out, which is 1. The same thing we did here, we divided 8y by 4, which is positive 2y, and then plus 1 since we divide 2 by 2 and square, and copy 71. And we got this by simply multiplying 1 times 25, and then 1 times 4, which is 25 and 4. So the next thing we'll do is factor these parts out, which will result to 25 parentheses x minus 1 quantity squared plus 4 parentheses y plus 1 quantity squared equals to 100, since 7 to 1 plus 25 plus 4 is equals to 100. And then we will divide both sides by 100, and then from there we can get the standard equation of an ellipse by simply dividing 100 by 25, which will be x minus 1 quantity squared over 4, and then for the y coordinate, we will divide 100 by 4, which will be y plus 1 quantity squared over 25 is equals to 1, since 100 divided by 100 is 1. And that's how we get the standard equation of an ellipse. So from here on, I will be introducing to you the two sets of properties in ellipse. So just like in parabola, we also have the vertical and horizontal axis. For vertical axis, we have C parenthesis H comma K. For its foci, we have parenthesis H comma K plus minus C. For its vertices, we have H comma K plus minus B. And for co-vertices, we have H plus minus A comma K. And for the major axis, we have 2b, and for the minor axis, we have the 2a, and for its latus strictum, we have 2a squared over b. For the horizontal axis, we also have center h comma k, and for its foci, we have h plus minus c comma k. For its vertices, we have h plus minus a comma k, and for its co-vertices, we have h comma k plus minus b. For its major axis as well, we have 2a, and for its minor axis, we have 2b. Lastly, for its lattice rectum, we have 2b squared over a. So from here on, from the given example earlier, the standard equation we got from it, we will use it to solve for its properties. So first, how will we know if it's vertical or horizontal? It is vertical if the denominator of y-coordinate is greater than the denominator of our x-coordinate. It is horizontal if the denominator of the x-coordinate is greater than that of the y-coordinate. So from here in this equation, you can see that the denominator of our y-coordinate is greater than the denominator of our x-coordinate. So we can tell that its axis is vertical. Its center, we can tell by looking at the given here from our x and y coordinate, the h and k from the properties we had earlier. Our h is complementary to our x-coordinate, so it is positive 1, and then our k is complementary to our y-coordinate, which is negative 1. Next, for its foci, we will have to use the formula in the properties I discussed earlier, in which we can find that by copying the h, which is 1, and the comma, k plus minus c. From here, we should find the values of a, b, and c. So we can find the values of c as well. So for our a, it is complementary to our x-coordinate. So we have to square this value, which is 2, and this is 5. So our a is 2 and our b is 5. So as for our c, we can find it by simply subtracting 25 by 4, which is 21, and we will square it, which is square root of 21, since it's not a perfect square. And then, so from here on, we can finally solve for its foci. It is negative 1 plus square root of 21, since we add, and then for the foci 2, we have 1, and then negative 1 minus square root of 21. Next, we will find its vertices, which is v1. We will use the formula we had earlier, which is h comma k plus minus b, copy h, which is 1, k plus minus b, since we have the value here of beta, we have negative 1 plus 5, which is positive 4. And then E2, we have copy H, and then negative 1 minus 5, it is equals to negative 6. Next, we will find its co-vertices, which we can also use the formula we had earlier, in that C co-vertices H plus minus A comma K. So this time, we will change the value of H. So H plus minus A, since we have the value of A over here already, we add the 1 H plus A, which is 3, and then we copy the value of K, which is negative 1, and then for CP2 we have, this time we subtract the H by A, so we have 1 minus 2 is equals to negative 1, comma, copy the H, the K. So next, you have to find its major axis, which is, for vertical axis, we have 2b. Since 2b is greater, b is greater, we have 2 times the square, which is 5. So 2b is 2 times 5 is 10. And for minor, we have 2a. We have 2 for the value of a, so we times it. 2 times 2 is 4. For our latus rectum, we can also use this reference, 2a squared over b. So we have to use the original value of a here, which is 4. So it will be 2 times 4 over the squared value of b, which is 5. And then it is equals to 8 over 5. And this is now the latus rectum of our given. So now I will discuss to you how to solve the standard and general equation given its properties. So here we have an example with the center 1 comma negative 1. We also have foci, which is 1 comma negative 1 plus square root of 21, and then its major. We also have major, which is 10. So first thing we need to do is find the values of H, K, A, B, and C. So in the given, we can already find the values of H and K since we have our center. So our H is 1 and then our K is negative 1. So in the given properties, we have foci, and what we can find in our foci is the C. So from there we can find the value of C, which is square root of 21, since if we base on our properties we discussed earlier, foci is H comma K plus minus C, so C can be easily found there. For in the given properties, we can also see that there is a major, in which major is derived from the formula 2b. So we can simplify the value of b by dividing both sides by 2, which is equals to 5. So our value for b is 5. Since we don't have any clues to find a, we will use the Pythagorean theory, which is c squared is equals to a squared plus b squared. And since we have already the values of c squared and c and b, we have square root of 21 squared, a squared, leave that as a b, plus 5 squared. Which, let's move the a squared to find it, and then move the 21, square the 5 first, and then move the 21, which will be 25 minus 21. So from there on, we can already find for the value of a, which will be square root of 4. So our value for a will be 2. So after finding the values for h, k, a, b, and c, we can now easily find the standard equation given its properties. So what we did here is basically substituted the values from here. As for our x coordinate, we had 1, which will automatically be negative 1. And then for our y coordinate, we have our k, which is negative 1, which will automatically be positive 1. For our denominators, we got 4 for our x coordinate simply because we squared the 2, and that's how we got 4. And then we also squared the 5, and that's 5. That's how we got 25. So that's how we can get the standard equation given its properties. So now I'll discuss to you how we can solve the standard equation into a general equation. First thing we'll do is find the LCD, the denominator of the denominator. So we have 100, and then next we will divide 100 by the denominator. So we'll get 25 parenthesis x minus 1 squared plus 100 divided by 25 is 4, and then y plus 1 quantity squared is equals to 100, since we will simply multiply 100 by 1. And then next, we'll have to factor this out, which will be 25 x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus 4 minus y squared plus 2y plus 1 is equals to 100. The next thing we'll do is distribute by the coefficient. So we'll have 25x squared minus 50x plus 25 plus 4y squared plus 8y plus 4 is equals to 100. And then next is, we will arrange the equation now, which will be 25x squared plus 4y squared minus 50x plus 8y, and then we add 25 plus 4, and then we move the 100 to the left side, which will be minus 100 is equals to 0. So from there on, we are now closer to the general equation. We just have to add this and minus it by 100. So we can arrange this again by its general equation, which will be 25x squared plus 4y squared minus 50x plus 8y. 25 plus 4 is 29 minus 100 is negative 71 is equals to 0. So this is now our general equation.
Hyperbola is a set of all points in a plane whose difference of the distances from the two fixed points are constant. So let's solve for the properties of this given equation. 4x squared minus 5y squared plus 32x plus 30y equals 1. In order for us to solve for the properties, we need to transform this general equation first into standard equation. So let's group them first. 4x squared plus 32x plus blank minus 5y squared. Si positive 30y magiging negative 30y since subtraction yung equation natin sa hyperbola. So, minus 30y plus blank then equals 1. After natin sila i-group, factor out natin si 4 and si 5. So, magiging 4 x squared. 32 divided by 4, 8. So 8x plus blank minus 5 quantity y squared. Negative 30 divided by 5, negative 6. Negative 6y blank. Then equals to 1. After natin sila i-factor out, let's solve for the blank. So 8 divided by 2, 4. Then 4 squared is 16. Negative 5 divided by, negative 6 divided by 2, negative 3. Negative 3 squared is equals to 9. Then let's multiply 4 and 16 and 5 sa 9. So 4 times 16, 64. Negative 5 times 9, negative 45. Then, factor natin itong trinomial. So, magiging 4x plus 4 squared minus 5 y minus 3 quantity squared equals, let's solve for the right hand side. 64 plus 1, 65. Minus 45, positive 20. Then, divide both sides by 20. So, magiging 20, 20, 1, 1, 1. So, magiging 5 to, and this naman plus 4. So, ang final standard equation natin is x plus 4 squared over 5 minus y minus 3 squared over 4 equals 1. Since may standard equation na tayo, we can solve for the properties. X plus 4 squared over 5 minus y minus 3 squared over 4 equals 1. Let's identify first the axis. So, mas mataas yung denominator ni x coordinate kaysa sa y coordinate. So, ibig sabihin yan, horizontal ang axis natin. Next is center. Hanapin natin si h and si k. So, ang h natin is positive 4. So, magiging negative 4. Then, si negative 3 magiging positive 3. Next is foci. Ang foci sa horizontal is h plus or minus c. So, hanapin muna natin si c. Pag-add natin ang denominator. So, 5 plus 4, 9. Then, square root. So, yung value ng c is square root of 9. So, add natin sa h. So, 4 plus negative 4 plus square root of 9 equals 3. Then, negative 4 minus square root of 9 equals 3, comma 3. So, sa vertices naman, sa horizontal, h plus or minus a, comma 3. So, hanapin natin yung value ni a. Ang a natin is yung nasa ilalim ng x. So, square root of 5. Ang value ng a natin is square root of 5. So, add natin sa h. Negative 4 plus square root of 5, comma 3. Negative 4 minus square root of 5, comma 3. Next is yung endpoint. Ang endpoint naman sa horizontal, h, comma, k, plus or minus b. So, ang b natin is itong 4. So, square root of 4 is equals to 2. So, b natin is equals to 2. Copy h, 4, negative 4, comma, 3 plus 2, 5. So, copy ulit negative 4, comma, 3 minus 2, 1. So, ang transverse axis naman sa horizontal is 2 times a. So, ang a natin is square root of 5. Equals nyan is 2 square root of 5. Conjugate naman natin is 2 times b, which is 2. So 2 times 2, 4. Now we have the properties. So paano naman if ang example is given properties lang and we have to solve for the general equation? Let's have an example. C 4 negative 8 foci 8 and negative 8 transverse is 4. In order for us to solve for the general equation, we need to identify first the axis. So, ang axis nito is horizontal. Since nagbabago yung h, so let's solve for the value of h, k, a, b, and c. Since given na ang center, meron na tayong value sa h, and sa k. So, copy lang natin yung 4 and yung negative 8. So, ang transverse axis sa horizontal is 2 times a. So, it equals 4. Then, divide 2 both sides. So, a is equals to positive 2. Since wala tayong given na endpoint, so hindi natin masasolve si b. So, skip muna natin si b, proceed tayo kay c. May given na tayong foci. So, ang foci sa horizontal na hyperbola is h plus or minus c, k. So, substitute lang natin yung value ni h. So, 4 plus c is equals to 8. Then, transpose 4. C equals 8 minus 4. So, C is equals to 4. So, ang value ni C is 4. Para naman makuha yung value ni B, gagamit tayo ng Pythagorean theorem. So, C squared is equals to A squared plus B squared. C squared natin is 16. A squared natin is 4 plus B squared. So, transpose natin si 4 sa kabila. So, B squared 16 minus 4, b squared is equals to 12. Then, para makancel yung squared, b is square root lang natin si 12. So, 12 magiging 2 square root of 3. 2 square root of 3. So, substitute na natin to sa standard equation. So, since horizontal tayo, gagamitin natin is x minus h 4 quantity squared over a, so 4 minus y minus k. So, ang k natin is negative 8, so magiging positive 8 squared over yung b squared natin kanina is 12, so 12 equals to 1. So, para maging general equation to, kukunin natin yung LCD niya. Ang LCD nito is 12. So, cancel. Magiging 3x minus 4 squared. Then, copy lang. Y plus 8 quantity squared equals 12. So, rewrite natin. Expand natin to. So, magiging 3x minus 8x plus 16 minus y squared plus 16y plus 64 then 12. Distribute natin si 3 sa loob. So, magiging 3x squared minus 3 times 8 24x plus 3 times 16 48 minus y squared. Si positive 16y magiging negative since subtraction na, so negative 16y plus minus then, minus 64. Then transpose 12 sa left hand side, so magiging negative 12 equals 0. So arrange lang natin. 3x squared minus y squared minus 24x minus 16y, then 64, negative 64 minus 12, 76, negative 76. So negative 76 plus 48. So 28, negative 28 equals 0. So this is the general equation.
Do 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 do.